Scranton-based original musician Chris Hludzik talking about his new EP, Nervous No More. Hello, Chris.
Hello.
What was your inspiration for Nervous No More?
It comes from there's actually two stories to that. The one is the last album I did, I fretted over it a lot, and I was really, intense and like almost to the point where I was like crazed about it, getting it done and working on it and everything. This one was just a little more laid back. It was just a little more fun to do. It was 4 songs that I had. 2 songs were supposed to be on the last album, but they didn't quite fit. And I had 2 other songs I had laying around for a long time, and I just, for whatever reason, never did anything with them. And then one day I was like, I want to release something, but I wasn't ready to do an album again, so I still wanted to release something, so I figured I'd do an EP. The other side of it is when I was an intern at Sound Investments Recording Studios, they used to call me CNI, Chris the Nervous Intern, because when I first started working there, I was, anybody would be nervous when they're first working with, microphones that cost as much as a car, so I was very, very nervous, but, eventually that passed. And I guess that's kind of the theme of the EP.
Can you tell us some stories behind the songs?
Yeah, sure. The first song on the EP is called Bygone. And it's an acoustic song. It's just acoustic guitar, vocal, bass, and there's a little piano outro.
When cassette was king.
And it's basically kind of like part 2 of a song that was on my last album, and the song was called No Chorus. And this is kind of like part 2 of No Chorus, really. And it's just a song about, as you get older, you kind of realize, things aren't what they used to be, and they'll never get back to that again, and just kind of more or less accepting that. Whereas the song on the previous album,
when I was just a kid, I never thought of what I did, or what I'd have to answer for, or that I'd have to even up the score.
was just basically kind of reminiscing about that, but not really coming to sort of any conclusion about it. This kind of comes to a conclusion about it.
Now all that's left to do is wait here to die.
The second song on the EP is called Surroundings, and it's a really hard rock song, and it's basically kind of one of those, look out the window kind of songs about, the world around us and stuff like that. And I have a couple songs like that, but this is a little more direct, a little more hard and heavy. And the song has a ton of guitars on it. The song after that is a song that I've been playing out since I pretty much started playing out. It's called Northwest Song. And it's a song about a few of the bands I was in when I first started out, and just about how we were kind of copycatting the whole alt-rock, grunge rock scene, but yet at the same time we thought we were so original and so unique. And it's just kind of a warning to say, try to, you're never going to be 100% original, but at least make an effort, because following somebody else's footsteps never really did anybody any good.
We weren't stars.
The last song on the EP is called The Ball's in Your Court, and it's basically a song about, we all have that friend or that co-worker or business partner or whatever, or even somebody we're in a relationship with, that we're always the one that's, calling them, trying to get them to do something and get them up and going and get them ready to do stuff or to be involved in something, and they're always the ones that are kind of, dragging their feet. And you're always the one that's, trying to get everybody going. And eventually you get to a point where you just get sick of that. And you're like, you know what? If you want to do this, you know where I am. You can come find me. The ball's in your court now. And that's basically what that song's about. And I think everybody can relate to that because we've all known someone like that. As far as the production goes, I didn't really give any sort of specifics to the other players on the EP. I just kind of play them the song, and I let them kind of feel it out and do their own thing on it. Whereas before, I would tell the guitar player, well, I have this certain idea for the solo, or I would tell the drummer, I have this idea for a drum part. And it turned out really, really well, probably a lot better than if I had a specific instruction for them on what to do.
Who were the players on this album?
The same people that played in the last album. We have Joe Ogleski, Wiggy, who is the chief engineer at Sound Investments Recording Studio. He's also in a local group called Jigsaw Johnny, and he plays guitar solos on 3 of the songs. We have Lenny Mecca, who is also from Jigsaw Johnny, and he plays bass on 3 of the songs. And we have Brian Brophy, who is from a bunch of local groups, and he has his own project called An Autumn Sunrise, and he plays drums.
Did you do any different recording techniques this time?
Yeah. We did gang vocals on the outro to The Ball's in Your Court, and we just basically kind of sang the refrain. It was me and Lenny Mecca, the bass player, and we just, the 2 of us got in front of one microphone. We just sang it like 6 times over, and then Wiggy, the engineer, had us turn around and face the wall and just shout at the wall, and it echoed in the room, and like after overdubbing it like 6 or 7 times, it sounded like a huge crowd.
Balls in your court, balls in your court, balls in your court.
So what are your plans moving forward? Do you have any shows lined up? Do you have any outrageous Chris Hludzik rock lesson happenings planned?
Well, I would like to do a show, and I will plan on doing some kind of a release show. Really, the biggest thing I have planned for this is I'm going to release it differently. My first album I put out on iTunes. My last album I made CDs. This album I'm probably going to go the download card route, because it was funny, when I first started out, I figured, I'll go on iTunes. Everybody's on iTunes. I did iTunes, and then most of the copies of my album I was selling were CDs that I burned myself and printed up the covers myself, and I was giving them to people at shows. So I figured the next time around, okay, well, I'll do CDs, because it seems like people like them more. And I did CDs, and then it was kind of the opposite. Nobody really bought the CDs. So this time around, I'm going to do the download card, because it's something that's still physical. I can still hand it to people, but yet they can go and they can download it and do whatever they want with it.
On the sideline.